Well, here it is, the test hand video for the light and darkness world profile I showed you all the other day. So without further ado, I'm just going to dive head first into it. We're going to start by shuffling up the deck. We're going to do a test hand going first and a test hand going second. We might do more depending on how long this video goes for, because with Dark World, you know, there's a lot of RNG factor. So with that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you won't miss out on any more upcoming content. After a very decent shuffle and a good old cut, our starting hand of 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, quite a nice hand, and the reason it's quite a nice hand is because as long as you've got access to Mind Shuffle, you've got that bridge getting started already. So we'll start off with our ability of using Black Chaos to discard this to place face up the Mind Shuffle. So that's going to get us into rotation. This doesn't respect Droll that much, so that is one thing you do need to be very, very careful of. But like I said, you will adapt your plays depending on if you're going first or second. Now that we've got Mind Shuffle face up, we're going to use Mind Shuffle's effect to add a card that mentions, or a monster to be specific, that mentions light and darkness, and then discard a card. Now we've got a couple of different ways we can do this. We can go for Celtic Mystic, but we don't have anything to reveal off the back of that. We can go for Griffo, but Griffo is only going to get us to another Mind Shuffle. We could go for one of the 2 ritual monsters if we wanted to. The other option we can go for is the Skull Archfiend of Chaos. Now we don't need to discard the Skull Archfiend of Chaos right now off the back of Mind Shuffle. It would get us the most advantage, but because we want to discard a card effect and actually trigger it, we can actually just discard the Snow. So that's what we're going to do here, is we're going to discard the Snow. And then what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to use Snow's effect here. Snow is then going to allow us to grab a Dark World card. The card I want to get access to is Genta. We're going to use Genta's effect, discarding this to get us Gate of the Dark World. And now we're going to start to build up a lot of advantage in certain ways. So we're going to activate Gate of the Dark World. We're going to use Gate of the Dark World's effect. We're going to banish the Genta from the graveyard. And then we're going to discard a card. Now, I can discard Snow, which would be fine. That will get us access into a bit more rotation. The fact that I need to get another discard to the graveyard would mean that I have to rely on Mothman in order to do so. But that will let all my Dark World plays move around. There are ways to still get Skull Archfiend of Chaos to the graveyard. There's still a lot that we can do here. So debating on which one you want to discard here. Skull Archfiend of Chaos will get you access to the Ritual spell and the Ritual monster, but it doesn't actually advance our plays here. So I'm actually going to get rid of the Snow, because I feel that when I activate Mothman, I would be in the best position to get everything I need to, and I'll explain that as we go. So, resolve the Gate of the Dark World first, drawing a card. Pretty good. Then we get to go Chaining 1 Snow, Chaining 2 Genta. Genta will summon itself back to the field. Snow will then allow us to grab a Dark World card. Now, you could directly go for the Accession, but we don't have a fusion monster to go into. I am personally going to go for a Rainbow, or a monster that technically could return this from the field to the hand, which would ultimately end up being the Greffa. But because I can get Greffa once I discard off of the back of this, we're just in another good position. So I'm going to normal summon down the Celtic Mystic. Pretty good draw, not going to lie. Use Celtic Mystic's effect. We're going to reveal the Skull Archfiend of Chaos, because all you need to do is reveal your entire hand. And as long as you revealed a monster that mentions, or a card that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual, you get to draw 3 cards and discard 2. So the 3 new ones will be Greffa, Ceruli, and Lucian. God, this is pretty broken, I'm not going to lie. We'll definitely discard the Ceruli because we've got access to Silver. So that's 1 that's getting discarded. I then need to get rid of Rainbow or Greffa. So I'm going to get rid of Rainbow, then we can deck Finn even more. I should have really got rid of the Skull Archfiend of Chaos, but there's still just so many more ways I can discard the Skull Archfiend of Chaos that I don't need to do it now. So then on a new chain, we'll be able to trigger off Chaining 1 Ceruli, Chaining 2 will be Rainbow. Rainbow will then let us add from deck to hand, so we'll be able to add access to our second Greffa. There we go. And then we're going to be using Ceruli's effect to give it to our opponent, put it into the zone that the extra monster zone points to, because we'll be able to return that later on. Ceruli's effect will now trigger, making us discard our Silver. Silver's effect will now trigger to reduce our opponent's hand from 5 to 3. There we go. And then that's not enough, because then Silver is going to come back to the field. I can then return the Genta to the hand for the Rainbow. Do I want to get the Ceruli back to my hand? I kind of do, I'm not going to lie, but I don't want to link off the Silver because then Silver doesn't get me anywhere. So we're probably going to need to use the Genta first, discard this, we'll get the second Gate of the Dark World. We'll play the second Gate of the Dark World. We will use the second Gate of the Dark World. Just need to decide what we discard here. I don't really want to discard the Greffa because then it will make me destroy the Cerulli. We will banish the Genta. I don't mind that being banished. I think the card that will get me the most advantage here would be to discard the Skull Archer of Chaos. So we're going to discard this one. So we'll discard this. Resolve the Gate of the Dark World, draw a card. That's okay. And then on a new chain, we will be able to go Skull Archfiend of Chaos's effect to send. So we'll send the Light and Darkness Ritual. That will then allow us to grab our Magician of Black Chaos. This is another thing that I completely overlooked with how good this deck is that the Magician of Dark Chaos can recycle your normal spells that can be used again. So, I can actually recycle. It's just any spell, isn't it? Yeah. So I can actually recycle my own Gate of the Dark World, which is pretty nuts. So let's use. I don't even think I need to use Light and Darkness Ritual effect yet to add it back to my hand. Just having a look to see what we've got here. In an ideal world, I want to get Cerulli back, but to get Cerulli back, I kind of have to use the Danger. Now, the issue with the Danger is I can't hit any of the two Greffas, because if I hit any of the two Greffas, it destroys the Cerulli, which is something that I don't want to do. Kind of want to get rid of the Celtic Mystic. I could just draw more cards, like that would be absolutely fine as well. And what I mean by... I take that back. I'm going to go Skull Archer into Chaos. I'm going to target the Black Chaos. I'm going to target the Genta. And I'm going to target Snow. Doesn't matter which ones. They'll go back to the bottom of the deck. That card will summon itself back. Then what I'll do here is we will... Just double check that I've done this one right. Yep, two monsters the same type except tokens. So use Rainbow and we'll use Skull Archer of Chaos. That will go into the Academic Magician, which will go into the extra monster zone, which points to the Cerulli. This will return the Cerulli back to the hand. So we've got that back to the hand, which is exactly where I want it to be. I can then return the silver back to my hand for the rainbow. So that now goes there. So now all I need is to discard the Cerulli. Now I've got ways to control that discard if I want to. Or I'm just going to randomize it. I haven't used Light and Darkness yet. So we'll use Light and Darkness to add itself and Skull Archer of Chaos back to the hand. Do I want to draw more? I could draw more before I go any further. Yeah, let's control this. So we'll go Light and Darkness Ritual. We will use Griffo as the full requirements. We'll summon down our Magician of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos. We'll use his effect to grab us back the Gate of the Dark World. We'll activate Gate of the Dark World. We'll use the effect of that. We'll banish our Snow from the graveyard. We'll discard a Cerulli. We'll draw a card, doesn't matter what it is. Cerulli's effect will go to our opponent's field. That will then make us discard a card, so we'll discard the silver. Silver's effect will reduce my opponent's hand down to 1, and then silver will come back to the field. And now I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to Skull Dread. Skull Dread's effect, draw 1, 2, 3, 4, put 3 back. 1, 2, 3. They can all go back. Pretty sure they should. No, they're bottom as well. Okay, so they go bottom. I can get rid of my opponent's Cerulli. They've only got one card in the hand. Sandwich Day is. It could be done. It's like it's not an issue doing that, but I mean it would control what I have as well. It doesn't make that big of a difference. Trying to check if I've got anything else left in the grave that's worth using. Not really. I mean, I could loot back some resource. That's not an issue at all. Oh, I just realised how busted this now is, because let's activate Sandwich Day, right? So if I have a monster in my graveyard, which I do, I pay 200 life points. I draw a card, reveal it. Then if it's a monster, apply this effect based on the attribute. An attribute that is not in my graveyard, or an attribute that is in my graveyard. As it is an attribute that is in my graveyard, which is dark, I need to then discard a card. So I can discard Lucian, which will summon itself, or I can discard Greffa, which would destroy this. So let's discard Lucian. Lucian will then summon itself back. I can then return... Have I got a card? Yeah, I can then return Lucian back to the hand for Rainbow. It's actually quite important to have multiple level 7 or higher on the field as well, so then Mind Shuffle can return multiple ones. I might as well use a session then, right? Use a session, use Lucian and Grepher. Let's go here, and then this buffs everything, which is nice. Lucian would summon, Grepher would destroy. I can return Lucian to the hand for Grepher. I mean, depending on what you fear, you can very easily overlay these into monster. You can overlay these into graveyard. Or if you are really, really worried, you can also overlay into zombie vampire and then excavate. So you've got your options there if you wanted to. Honestly, don't think you need to, but you could do. So let's just go for extra precaution. Actually, I quite like having the level 8s on the field. It just gives me more return fodder for the Magician of Black Chaos. I actually quite like just leaving it there, to be honest. I can use the Sessions effect, add it back to the hand, discard Lucian. Lucian comes back to the field. I actually don't mind. Like, I would be kind of happy just leaving it there. Obviously, I can, and I will, just for the sake of it. Let's overlay this. We'll set Dark World a session, right? And then pass to our opponent's turn. During our opponent's turn, okay, we can go Mind Shuffle to add and then discard. So I can add whatever I want. So we'll add let's add our Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Light and Darkness. Discard a card. Now, if I want to disrupt my opponent, I would wait till they put a monster on the field and then the discard Grepher, and then Grepher's effect to try to pop it. Then I've got Mind Shuffle, which can return this to the hand as cost. Brings this down. Effect, buffs, effect, banish. And then you're basically just swapping these two around. But if you're able to get a bigger guy to the field and leave a bigger guy on the field, then you can return those as well. So like the resource manager is mental. I can utilise Grepher to one of the cards my opponent plays. So my opponent plays with one card. This deals with any monster effect. This deals with any spell or trap effect or spell or trap activation. That banishes. Like that, yeah, that's mental. Absolutely mental. I'm learning all these additional little... Like I said, I haven't like fully tested this. This is as the camera jumps off the blocks. This is just like a first draft testing. So like I know that the natural synergies you'd be looking at, but then we've got all of these extra synergies that are popping up that I'm like, oh yeah, that does that and that does that. Like, kudos to the person that thought of this idea. Like, it starts off with like little bits of synergy and little bits of interaction, and it just evolves into like total madness. I forgot how good the Dark Chaos is to recycle the spells from the graveyard. Like, recycle card destruction. Recycle... Obviously, you can't... I mean, you can after you've already used it. You could recycle Dark Corridor. You couldn't use it the same turn. Recycle Trio Tactics Frost, Trio Tactic Talents. My God, I forgot how busted that card is. Anyway, we'll shuffle up. That was a 13-minute test hand, so let's do another test hand, but we'll go second this time. Hopefully we see a Griffo in our opening for hand of 5. If not, we still have a way to play because the Griffo just drawing it for turn can still be quite useful. Anyway, our hand of 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We willed it into existence. So we're during our opponent's turn, okay? So this is how good Griffo is. During our opponent's turn, we Griffo. We get Black Chaos. Mind Shuffle. We activate Mind Shuffle. We add. Now, normally you would add the Skull Archfiend and then discard the Skull Archfiend. I don't need to do that. So I can add... Magician of Black Chaos early doors. We will then discard the Rainbow. Rainbow effect will then allow us to add level 5 or higher. So I'm going to add Grepher because then I've got a Disruptor straight away with the Mind Shuffle. We'll shuffle up. We'll then draw for turn. So we draw for turn. In draw phase, activate Mind Shuffle to add and then discard. So I'm going to add Celtic Mystic so that I've got a starter here. And then discard a card. So let's discard Grepher. Grepher would then attempt to destroy a card on the opponent's field, which is quite important because it baits out a card. Then activate Light and Darkness. There isn't really any spells in the graveyard to recycle, but that means if I use that later on, it could be quite useful. We'll do that, banishing the Griffo, summoning down the Magician of Dark Chaos. We can then use Magician of Dark Chaos to add back the Light and Darkness ritual. we can use the effect to then banish one of our opponent's cards. So we've destroyed one with the Greffer, we're going to banish one as well. We're then going to normal summon down our Celtic Mystic. Celtic Mystic's going to reveal the hand. We're going to draw 3 and discard 2. So 1, 2, 3. Discard 2. Let's get rid of this one and this one. I don't need to use Skull Archfiend or Chaos's effect, but actually having him in the graveyard could be quite useful. Silver's effect would summon back. Perfect. We can then return Silver to the hand for Rainbow, Rainbow for the hand for Greffer. There we go. I could Ritual Light and Darkness again if I want to. I do kind of want this in the graveyard. Like, that's not that big of an issue having it in the graveyard. But let's go. Black Chaos get me. Yeah, let's go Light and Darkness. We'll use this. Let's get rid of. And I want Rainbow in the graveyard. I mean, I might as well use Rainbow, get it in the graveyard. Because then I can get Blackluster Soldiers to the field. Blackluster Soldiers effect to banish. So that's cleared off 3 cards already. I just need to get one of these to the graveyard, which isn't that much of an issue. Because that's where the rank 8s come into play. This is where the rank 8s could be really, really helpful. So let's go Skull Archfiend. It'll be, I mean, I could recycle the Light and Darkness, but it will be the Griffo. I don't want to use the rank, like, usually because it would be, like, the cards I've destroyed from my opponent, so we'll get rid of 2 of my opponent's cards and then put the Griffo back, right? And the reason we do this is this comes back. Synchro these 2 together with Light and Dark. Gets us into Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel then banishes. So that's cleared off another card. If my opponent activates anything, they're getting hit with a talent, so that's for damn sure. Then I think at this point is literally like if I was to link any of these 2 off, like there's no point in linking this guy off, but if I was to link these 2 off, let's go into anything. I mean, I suppose if I did this earlier, then I'd go Cross Sheep, and I'd want Cross Sheep to be pointing to a ritual monster, which should probably be the Blackluster Soldier. The reason I did that is I could then technically summon down Black Chaos. Now what is Synchro? Synchro is all monsters I control gain 700. Perfect. So Cross Sheep would put back the, sorry, not Cross Sheep, Black Chaos would put this back. It points to a Synchro, so now all my monsters gain 700, which is pretty stacked. If I want to, I can use Mothman to try and randomize it out, but I don't think you need to, because basically you go 37, gain 15, 52, 37, 14, 42. Like, that's brutal. Absolutely brutal. That was actually a relatively quick test down, I'm not going to lie. So, just for that one, let's do another one. I think going first is obviously the longest one. Dogs clearly agree on that one. Let's go second. This time, hopefully we won't see Griffo. And if we do see Griffo, I'll put it back. Because it's kind of nice to show you how powerful the Griffo turn 0 play is. But there's no guarantee that you're always going to see the Griffo. Like, that's kind of a premium to see that. So we'll shuffle up. We'll go second again. I think that's probably like the better way of doing it. There we go. Obviously, the downside with the way that Dark Worlds work is like playing no non-engine interactions can be quite damaging. But anyway, going second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is definitely more of a Dark World card, Dark World hand that I've ever seen. Draw for 6 for turn. I mean, one way or another, you'd get to the Griffo, right? And the idea is you'd get the Griffo. But then what you want to do is draw phase as early as you possibly can Griffo. They are now forced to stop the Griffo. If they stop the Griffo, you can go for the Magician of... you just go for Black Chaos, and then Black Chaos still gets you your Mind Shuffle. Again, this hand doesn't respect draw that much, but the Griffo will allow you to respect it a little bit. Because again, during the draw phase, you go Mind Shuffle, activate Mind Shuffle, add and discard. So let's add... I don't even need the Skull right now. I mean, I can get pretty much anything I want to. So let's go for the Skull. And the reason you do that is then you discard. So discarding the Ceruli. Ceruli's effect goes to my opponent's side of the field. Just got to decide which I want to... Because, I mean, I can discard the Lucian. and the Lucian would summon itself to the field, and then I get to summon any Fiend monster from the deck to either side of the field. So the reason I would do that is all I need to do is get a discard and return the, yeah, so then we get the Snow, put that here. Then we'd activate Dark Corridor. Dark Corridor adds. Sorry, so we moved into the main phase, by the way. Now we've moved into the main phase. Activate Dark Corridor. Dark Corridor will add. So we'll add Genta. There we go. Discard Rainbow. Obviously, at any point I can discard the Skull Archery, and that's fine. Rainbow's effect lets me add. So we'll get hold of a Grapher. Add the Grapher. Then we get to add the Snow back to the hand. Bring back the Rainbow. Then we can go Genta. Gets access to the gate. Gate up over there. Then we can use Gate's effect, banish Genta, discard. I mean, Snow's not the worst actually. Snow actually gets us quite a bit of advantage. But let's go Grepher. Ditch the Grepher, draw a card. New chain, chaining 1, chaining 2. Genta comes back to the field. Grepher then pops one of our opponent's monsters. We'll leave the Cerulean. I don't want to pop the Cerulean yet. We'll do that. Return the Genta to the hand for Grepher. Genta's effect again for the gate. Second gate, play the second gate. Shuffle up. I can very easily go these two before I use the next gate. These two into a Kasich. Kasich returns the Genta to the hand. Return the Rainbow for Grepher. Second gate effect, banish Genta. Discard is entirely up to us here. Discard Cerulean. I mean, Snow just gets me another monster from my opponent's hand. Yeah, sure, we'll do it this way. Draw a card. Fine. Cerulean's effect goes to our opponent's field. Cerulean makes us discard. I don't know what other Dark World I'd want to summon. I don't think there is another Dark World that I would need to summon that's level 4 or lower. Silver's probably not going to be that effective because my opponent's probably not going to have as many cards in the hand. So maybe I just discard the Skull Archer and the Chaos at this point. No, because I want the Ritual spell. So let's discard Snow. Let's say, I mean, Snow. Oh no, Snow revives a monster from an opponent's graveyard. They'll definitely have a monster, that's for sure. Right, when we're doing Snow's effect in the graveyard, lets me add a Dark World card. We'll add the Dark World Accession. We can use the Ragged Rites of Records, reveal the Ritual spell, and then add. We've already got Black Chaos. We can add the Celtic Mystic if we want to. Trying to see if that's beneficial. It probably is actually. Where's the Celtic Mystic? Add the Celtic Mystic. Normal summon Celtic Mystic. Reveal the hand. Obviously Light and Darkness in there. Draw 3, discard 2. 1, 2, 3. At this point, we can get rid of Rainbow. I don't know if Snow is that effective for us right now. I don't think there's any other Dark World card I would need to add. Maybe another Grepher, but I'll get that here. Discard those two. Both those effects trigger. We'll send the Ritual spell. Send that. Grab us. I mean, if I want to recycle a spell, what spell could I recycle? I could recycle Gates. I don't think I need to, so I'm not going to. And then I would get Grepher. Let's get Celtic War. Oh, actually, no, I want to use. Let's use my opponent's monster and the Akashic Magician. We're going to go into Cross Sheep. Right, where are we at? So we've got the Cross Sheep. We've got Light and Darkness, which can add itself back to the hand. So we'll go Light and Darkness, add itself. and add back Griffo. Then activate Light and Darkness, use the Griffo in the hand for the Black Luster Soldier. Black Luster Soldier would banish any other monster rather than Ceruli, but we'll just for the sake of this, we'll banish the Ceruli. I put you in the wrong place, you need to go over here. I don't want to trigger the effect just yet, there's a reason for that. So then what we can do here is we can use Dark World of Session, we'll discard this Greffa, we'll banish this Greffa. We will fuse into the Greffa Dragon. We will now be able to go Chaining 1 Greffa to destroy a monster on opponent's field, Chaining 2 Cross Sheep to use both the effects. And the sequence would resolve as draw 2, discard 2. So draw 2, discard 2. Let's get rid of... I mean, Snow doesn't do anything for me here, neither does Genta, really. Greffa revives. Has to revive Snow, really. Which is fine. Snow's effect, I don't think there's any other Dark World cards I can really get that's worthwhile. Probably Silver, it's probably the best thing I can get hold of. Yeah, Silver. Light and Darkness Ritual is, of course, in the graveyard. There we go. Then let's use Skull Archfiend of Chaos. We'll put back the... I mean, there's no need to do this, but we'll put back these two, and we'll put back a Griffo. So they'll go back into the deck. The reason we do that is we'll then... I don't need the light. What am I talking about? Let's do this. Chaos Angel banish. I've got Rainbow in the graveyard. I've got Greffa in the graveyard. So, Rainbow. Boom. He's obviously back in the deck. Session is gone. I can use a Session to discard it. We'll bring back... So, a Session's effect, add it back, discard the Silver. Silver's effect summons. Return Silver to the hand. For Greffa. Like, this field's stacked. So stacked. Oh my god. I still don't even use Black Chaos. Like, if I wanted to link some of these off, I so could. So, just for the sake of linking off, I mean, just these two straight away. Just use these two. SP, don't use the effect, because obviously then I wouldn't be able to attack directly. But then, oh sorry, not these two, these two. Do it that way. Because then I can go, return this for Greffa. Then I can put this back into the deck. I can then get Black Chaos. Black Chaos effect, non-target, banish 2. It's currently unaffected because of Light and Darkness in the graveyard. Game? Like, this is mad. I would have banished one off of this, banished 2 off of this, destroyed one off of the first Greffa, destroyed one off of the second Greffa, banished one off of the Chaos Angel. Like, this is mad. Now, obviously, there's the reason that this deck is not competing with the meta, right? There are a lot of choke points. Droll is one of those massive points. It can play no non-engine, so it has to be 100% gas. It has to go, 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 and hope your opponent, you trade off enough with your opponent that they can't stop you building. Which in today's game, I don't think is a possibility. I think they're always going to, with the way things are, I think they're always going to trade off. But that being said, very, very fun. Very, very powerful. There are some very hidden extras that this deck is showing me, which I love. Yeah, so again, massive shout out to the person that suggested this in the comments. Again, if they put the comment in this video as well, I'll give them the pin again. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. If you want to see more from this deck or just some more creative hybrids, I know I still owe you guys the Sacred Beast Yubel deck, and I still owe you the 60 card Sacred Beast Yubel Dark World deck as well. I am working on them. I just haven't had time to finish them yet. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.